Hey guys, so welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to block United States IPs, because a lot of the times you'll be playing Apex and you feel a bit laggy, and the reason for it is actually because you get put into American servers at times, especially with matchmaking. Like I've noticed with my level, let's say I drop like a 16 bomb or I get like 10 kills and I win the game, immediately the next match I get thrown into a United States server and I'll be lagging like crazy, and I'll just think, oh shit, it's my internet, you know, it's my provider that's being laggy or whatever. But in actual fact, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's actually the matchmaking putting you into America to play with the predators, because that's where your skill level sits. And I don't know, maybe there's not enough people in the EU or all over the world for you to be skilled with the same level of those players. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's just the way the skill-based matchmaking currently works. So this video is just going to be about how to avoid that happening to you. So just to show you guys that this thing actually works, as you can see here, when I open the game, I could see all these servers, you know. I've got New York, South Carolina, St. Louis, all these different servers, Dallas, Singapore. So if I close the game and I run the script once again, double click the bat file, it installs. It does take a little while. I made sure it takes a little while. And then the next thing you want to do is just jump straight into Apex. So you open up your Origin, click play, and then when the game launches up, you'll see that on the tab it'll only have EU servers, which is what I want. That's where I want to play. I don't want to play in America. It's not fair to be playing in America when I'm living in Africa. So as you can see here, the game is now loaded. If I click tab, now what you'll see is I've got London, Belgium, Amsterdam, Frankfurt, Bahrain, and those are the only servers that I can actually use, because all these other ones, the New York, South Carolina, they've all got -1, and then they've got 100% packet loss, which -1 basically means it can't connect to those servers. So all of these servers are now blocked. And I can now play on London, Belgium, which are the servers I want. This is EU, this is the best ping for me. So I can just click any one of these. London's sometimes a bit laggy, so I choose Belgium. Maybe it's just my routing to London, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's how it works. Everything else works fine. It doesn't block like stats or anything like that. It doesn't block the lobby, nothing like that. Everything works perfectly for me. I hope it'll work for you. Let me know if you get any issues trying to run this blocker. I'm sure I can help you out. Just leave a comment and I'll try to help you as best as I can, so that you're not paired against people in an unfair environment, because although they're your skill level, you're playing against people that are probably playing on like 20 ping or less, and you're busy sitting here on like 400 ping, 300 ping, maybe even 200 ping. Depending on how far you are away from the United States. For us, we're in Africa. Well, I'm in Africa. I live in Zimbabwe, and I get about 300 to 400 ping to get to New York, which is just crazy. Like, that's just insane. So anyway, enough talking. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. So basically, the first thing you want to do, just open up your browser, and then I'll send the link. I'll put the link in the description. But basically, you just go to this link, and it's a software called Live TCP UDP Watch. Now, what it does is it basically just monitors all the traffic on your PC. So it'll be checking like this application is communicating on port 443 with this IP address, and this is how much data it's using, how much packets it's sending, stuff like that. I do networking as a profession, and that's my main job. So I did know about this already before Apex. So I thought this might help you if you're facing the same challenges as me. So basically just go to the bottom of the page, you'll find the download link. You can get the 32-bit or the 64-bit depending on your operating system. For me, I'm going to go with the 64-bit because I've got a 64-bit operating system. I'm running Windows 10. It'll work for any operating system, whether you've got Windows 10, Windows 7, doesn't really matter. So it just downloads a WinExtra, extract it, then open up the application. Now, it basically just runs straight away, and you'll see already it'll be like monitoring things that are communicating on the internet. So as you can see here, my Chrome is communicating on port 443, which is HTTPS, if you don't know what that is, with this IP address. So I'm just giving a brief explanation about what it does. So the first thing you're going to want to do is launch Apex Legends. So you open up your Origin, then just click play. So this will work with any PC except for Mac. This application I don't think is supported on Mac. No, it's not. Unless there's a Mac version somewhere out there, but I don't know about that one. So yeah, Windows, this will work on any Windows operating system. So you just launch up your game, then I just want to show you basically what it does. So whenever you open your game, when you get to the menu screen, if you look at the bottom sort of center, you'll see it says here tab. So you press tab, which shows you the data center that you're connecting to, which is basically the server that you're playing on Apex Legends. So here you've got a list of servers. I've got London, which the ping to London for me is about 183. And then packet loss, depending on if your internet's unstable or your provider's unstable, you might have more than 0 packet loss. So like if you've got 20 packet loss, you might want to check out with your internet provider. Maybe there's something wrong with your internet. If you're playing on Wi-Fi, that can also give you packet loss. Always make sure you're using cable, Ethernet cable, directly connected to your modem. Or if you have a switch that's connected to your modem, that's fine. So yeah, London, Belgium, Frankfurt, Belgium, Amsterdam. They added a new server called Bahrain. I don't know how to say that, but yeah, it's somewhere in Middle East somewhere there. So as you can see, right now I do not have the blocker. So I can see London, which is the closest server to me, Belgium, which is EU, Frankfurt, EU, Amsterdam, EU, Bahrain, which is now Middle East, which is also close. It's like the top of Africa, somewhere there. Tokyo, so this is China, I think, or Japan, one of those. So as you can see, the difference from London, I've got 180, then Tokyo, I've got about 220. So playing on 220, it just doesn't make sense. If I can play on 180, 190, let's just stick to those servers. So as I scroll down, you'll see the ping just gets higher and higher and higher because it sorts by the ping. So as you can see here, Singapore, Taiwan, Tokyo, Hong Kong, all these servers I will not be able to play on. Like I'll be lagging so badly that it just doesn't make sense to play. And then here you've got what looks like Virginia, so this is America as well. Yeah, South Carolina, New York, Tokyo. So these are all, like this New York is an American server, right? So basically, if I win a game and I get really high kills and points or whatever, the skill-based matchmaking says, all right, you are a certain level of skill. So we're going to pair you with people of that same skill level. But from what I've noticed, especially in season 4, up till season 4, that's what it's been doing. Even if I'm in Zimbabwe and the closest server is London, because of my skill level, it'll try to connect me to to New York, which is in America. And that just doesn't make sense because I'm going to be playing on like what? This is 250 ping? That's insane. And the lag will just be so bad that it's not playable. So anyway, enough talking about that. If you want to block these servers and block the skill-based matchmaking from doing this to you, none of this is hacks, it's not scripting, it's not changing the game files, nothing like that. It's as good as just having a firewall and just saying, right, I don't want to communicate with America because I don't play from America. I'm in Zimbabwe, I'm from Africa, I shouldn't be playing there. So all you're doing is you're basically defining what you want to do, and that's it. It's not changing game files, it's not hacking, nothing like that. So if I boot out the game again, as you'll see here, now that I go back to this live TCP UDP application, it'll be showing a whole bunch of IPs for Apex Legends. So Apex is this R5 Apex, that's Apex Legends. You can see from the icon. So this is the local IP address at the bottom here. This is my LAN IP address. Then on the right side, you've got the amount of bandwidth it's using. So I've got 0.1 kilobyte, which is nothing. And that's the IP address that it's connecting to. So when I opened the game, it basically sent out a ping or echo to all these other servers all over the world. And that's why you've got so many different entries for Apex Legends. So if I close the application and then I go back into Apex and I load into the game, now you're going to want to do the same steps. Make sure you follow these steps, otherwise you might get lost. Just load into any game, duos, trios, whatever. I'll just go duos. It's probably quicker. So you just play as if you're going to be jumping into a normal game. Now, while it's doing the matchmaking, you can just make sure you've got your application ready to open. So as you can see here, I've got the live TCP UDP Watch there. So I'm ready to open it. So I'm just going to wait until it actually gets me into a game. And then once I've entered a game, then I'm into a match. Now, if you wait a few seconds till here, this is basically the player lobby. Everyone's joining into this lobby right now. So already I can minimize Alt Tab out of my game, and I can open up the live TCP UDP application. And then if I check for Apex Legends, you'll see at the top here. For you, it might not be the top, it might be somewhere else. You just have to look for it. The easiest way to do it, I would say, is to sort by receive speed. So as you can see, when I click receive speed, it's going to sort all these applications by the one which is sending out data or bringing in data. So as you see here, receive speed for Apex, I've got 5 kilobytes. Now, this is the IP address which I'm basically connected to for this game that I've just entered. So if I right click on this and I go HTML report selected items, this is probably the easiest way to do it. It opens up a Chrome tab, and as you can see here, it's the same information, just in a sort of summary format. And if you click on where it says remote address, right? So you double click there, select the IP address. So this is the IP address that I've connected to in my game. And then the next thing I'm going to show you, basically you need to use an IP lookup tool or WhoIs application, something which can tell you, okay, this IP address belongs to this country or something like that, right? So I'll leave a link for this in the description as well. If you go to this URL, then you enter the IP address and then you press lookup. What it's going to do is it's going to look up for that IP address and see where it's based. So as you can see here, this IP address is from the UK because I selected the UK when I opened my game. So already you can see United Kingdom, UK ISP, that's the domain. So just by doing this, you can sort of verify and see, okay, am I actually playing on the UK? And in my case, I am, because I just opened the game. I haven't played any games. I just checked the IP straight away as I got into the lobby, and I'm in the UK. So this match for me will be very good. The ping will be good because
I better get moving.
I won't be lagging. So I'll just show you here. Game is perfect. Everything is cool. There's no packet loss icon, nothing like that. So the next step is, if you want to basically block Apex from putting you into the United States servers, you can either do this one by one, where like you play a game, check the IP every single game, block it if it's United States, which is going to take a long time. And I'm going to show you the process on how to block them. I've already got a script that I made which can help you. Maybe if you want to use it, you can use it. I'll also leave a link for that in the description. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like. As you can see here, I've got a little folder that I made, block United States servers Apex. So what this is just a bat file, which, if you know what a bat file is, it just executes commands from Windows command line. So this one just basically says, okay, let's run this other script here in PowerShell, right? And so if you open the PowerShell script, you'll actually find that this is where all the code to block is. So I'm not going to go through all this because it'll take a while and most of you probably don't even understand what this is. But a brief description, at the top here I've got a list of IPs that I'm blocking, and I just check to make sure it's Windows 10 and it's running as an administrator. So it's recommended to run this as an administrator. And then it just creates a Windows firewall rule. So if you're running Windows 10, you know that you've got Windows Defender, right? So if you just type here Windows Defender, you'll see the first thing that comes up here is advanced firewall advanced security. So if you open this up, I'm just going to show you what it looks like. You'll see here, this is your Windows firewall, right? Now, if you don't know what a firewall is, it basically just blocks unwanted connections to or from your machine. So you can either get a physical firewall that you can buy, something like a Cisco Meraki or some kind of firewall. So far, so you get software-based ones, you get hardware appliances, whatever, you know. So if you go to inbound rules, you'll see a whole bunch of rules. Now, these in Windows 10 will be there by default, because what it does is when you play a game, it's going to enter a firewall rule to say, okay, this application is allowed to access the internet. So as you can see here, by default, Apex Legends has got a firewall rule, and it's enabled, and its action is to allow any IP address to or from on UDP ports. So what we're going to do basically is create a rule that blocks Apex from accessing certain IP addresses. And to do that, it's very simple. Just use this script that I made. It's a lot simpler. Just use this. So I'll leave the link in the description. You can download it. It's only a few kilobytes. You basically just double click this bat file. Now what it does is it checks if you're running Windows 10. Is it administrator? Yes, yes. Then if you've got an existing rule, it's just going to delete it, because that's how the way I made it. So that every time I have an update, I just push it out to people and they just run it again, and it deletes the old one, replaces it with the new one. So all of that is just done on its own. You don't have to do anything. All you got to do is double click that file and everything's done. So now if you want to verify that it's enabled, right? Basically, you can go back to your Windows Defender firewall. If you just type Windows Defender, and just see this option here, just click on that option. And then if you check on the inbound rules, you'll see here, there's now a rule with a red icon, right? So this rule is to block United States incoming, and there's also one for outbound rules, which is here. Apex Legends block United States out. So if you go into these rules, you'll see already from here, it's enabled, and the action is to block. And on the remote addresses, it's got some IP addresses here. So this is basically a list of IP addresses that I've already come across that I've seen are United States, and I've blocked them so that you don't have to. It's all done for you, basically. So if you open it up, you can actually go to scope, and you can see here, these are all United States IP addresses, right? So yeah, if you have your own IP addresses that you want to add, you can simply just go to this rule, click add, and then just type the IP address that you want to block. So you can basically just take my rule, right? Use it, and then if you find, okay, I'm still getting put in the United States, that's probably because I haven't covered all the servers. There's probably more that I don't know about. So you just open your game, use that application to check the IP address like I showed you, and add that IP address. Just verify that it's in the United States. It'll say United States here. And then take that IP, go to the firewall, add it to the scope, and doom, it's done. So that's how you do it, basically. I'm just showing you guys how to do this because it's helped me a lot. I used to find myself lagging, and I was playing against really good players. I mean, United States, they've just got like 20 ping, 5 ping. It's insane. So playing against those people, it's not fair, you know. I think that what Apex Legends should do, or Respawn should do, is include geolocation when looking at matchmaking, because it doesn't make sense to matchmake someone from Zimbabwe with someone in America. I mean, how is that even fair? I'm going to be playing against him against 250 ping, and he's got like, what, 20 ping? That's just, it's insane. It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, basically that's all you got to do. I'll just make sure I've covered all the different steps here. Oh yeah, if you want to disable the firewall, let's say you're playing and you're thinking, oh shit, dude, this is bad, it's making my gameplay worse, or I can't access the game anymore, it's not working. Okay, it's fine. If you want to disable it, it's simple. First thing you do, open up the Windows Defender again. So go to Windows Defender Firewall with Advanced Security. Another way to get there is if you just go to Control Panel, and then you just go to Firewall. You can type Firewall on the top right. You search for Firewall. You'll see Windows Defender Firewall. Click on that, and it'll show you this screen here. So from here, you can just click Advanced Settings. And once you get to this page, basically, it's the same thing I showed you before. You got your inbound rules, outbound rules. Click on inbound rules, and you'll see the Apex Legends blocker. Just disable the rule. So right click disable, or you can delete it completely if you don't want it anymore. So I'm gonna just delete it, or okay, let me delete this one, right? So now as you can see, it's gone. There's no longer the blocking rule there. And on the outbound rules, you'll see it's here as well. So you can either delete or just block. So I'm gonna just disable this rule. And as you'll see, it'll just go white. There's no longer a red icon there. So it's the same thing. You can either just disable or delete the rule. I think that's it for the video. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. And let me know how Season 5 goes for you. I'm really keen for it. It's looking really fun. A lot of new nerfs, buffs. The whole meta has changed for Season 5. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.